Oh yeah, today I want to talk about our two energy storage tanks in our body, basically how that works, and I'll try and explain the best way I can at the moment on how that all works. So yeah, I hope you get something out of this. I've done a terrible kind of diagram to try and explain the process in your body, what's going on. This is the simplest way I know how to explain it, where hopefully you'll follow me and understand what the heck I'm talking about. Basically, this is how I see it, and my understanding of all the complicated issues and how it works. There's two energy storage tanks in your body. One is fat, which is the fat stored on your body, so that's basically a storage container for energy. And your other storage container is glycogen. That's stored sugars, so the fat's stored fat and the glycogen is stored sugars. Basically both these are used to create a nice stable blood sugar. So the first choice of the body is to use glycogen because it's a quick, easy energy, so I can use that very fast. The second choice, of course, is fat. But glycogen is very important in emergencies. The body always likes some glycogen left over, so I can call on that energy very fast. The fat takes longer to process, so it's a slower kind of energy. Right, and here's what goes on in your body. So glycogen starts to deplete, so it starts to get lower, and this little thing here is like a valve in the body, and the body determines the valve on how much glycogen is going to come out and how much fat is going to be burnt. So while the tanks of glycogen are full, it will turn the fat off and it will just run off glycogen alone, and fat burning will be basically switched off, so it dials it out. So glycogen's running out, so as that's depleting and it gets to a certain point, the body decides that. It'll say, hang on a minute, we're running a bit low here. We need to call on some fat reserves to top this up. That's why we get hungry. When this starts to get empty, we get hungry, and hopefully the body's trying to trigger us to eat to fill this back up. So what happens is, as the glycogen lowers, the body turns this valve, slows down the glycogen depletion, and opens up the fat production. So fat starts to be converted to ketones, and that's the whole ketosis business comes into it. So the body's slowing down the glycogen because it's running low. It's opening up the fat reserves as a secondary source for energy. And of course it's a second choice because it's slower to produce, but the body still wants to go for that. So when we eat, right, when we eat whatever calories, the bodies will take the carbs that we eat, and the carbs will convert directly to glycogen. So depending how many carbs we eat, depends how much this cup's filled back up again. So some people teach that this is empty after 8 hours, and I've said that in some of my other things, but I don't believe that's true, because I don't believe this really gets completely empty unless it's long fasts, like days and days. Then you can run that really down. Or the ketogenic diet, where it's forced ketosis by eliminating carbs pretty much completely. The body's forced to have no glycogen and run off fat only, but I don't believe that's nature's way to do things. I don't believe that's completely healthy to do that. So I don't recommend that at all. I think we need some glycogen and it's beneficial to have some. But we certainly can control our carbs so that more fat is being released, right? So when we're fasting, glycogen starts to run low, the body will just switch over and ketones will come in. So after, typically, because I've tested this, it's in my ketone meter and tested it extensively on lots of people, and this is how it works. You'll eat a meal at night and the glycogen will come back to a level that the body will basically shut fat production off, you know. And it can happen quite quick. As soon as the body gets some sugar, it turns this valve off, shuts the fat off. But the body's very good at, it sort of knows, I think it's like guessing what's in that food and how much, it sort of works out quickly how much carbs are in it and how much fat and how many calories is in that meal. So typically after a couple of hours my ketones, my fat production starts to kick it back in. So the glycogen slows, the figures in ketosis will come down, and quite most of the time it'll switch off completely for a period of time. Then my body starts to open the fat valve again and starts to let a little bit of fat compensate because it knows the glycogen's not fully full yet where it can turn the fat production off completely. It does momentarily, but within a couple of hours I'm already compensating, my body's already smart enough to start to compensate a bit of fat because it knows by my routine that it's going to need it the next day. It knows there's not many carbs, it knows that this ain't going to be full again, so it's sort of protecting these reserves of glycogen. It doesn't want to give them up easily and it's hanging on to them. It'll slow, it'll do, the body's got lots of tricks basically to help itself, help you survive, right? So it'll try and preserve it basically. So that's what's going on, and it's all to produce a nice steady blood sugar through your day, through your activities, whether you're exercising a lot. It's your body knows what you need to run during the day, and it'll sort of compensate and work that out. But that's basically how it works. It's like a switch here, where your body turns between how much glycogen's used and how much fat's used. So if you're eating multiple meals a day of carbs, your body never has to go to fat, so the fat lever will be turned off and it will just be running off carbs all the time. That's why fat will just stay on your body, you'll stay fat. And if you eat too much calories, too much glycogen, the body will start to, it'll spill over and the body will just convert to fat. It'll just say, yep, good, quick, easy storage, we're just going to plonk it into the fat side. And guess what, you can never lose it because you're never coming into, this valve will never be turned off as long as this is full. So you need to start draining that, and when you first begin it'll take probably a few days before you'll even start to show up some ketones. So that's basically the process I'm trying to explain here. I hope it's simple enough to understand. Yeah, that's basically how it works. So yeah, that's it for today. Okay, bye for now.